Hey everyone, July mystery tackle box. This is the pro box. It's almost over, but I know a lot of you are bank fishermen. So I figured I would come out here and just give a couple bank fishing tips to you so your next bank trip will maybe be a little more successful, especially since the mystery tackle box is sometimes a lot of different variety of lures. So stay tuned. So the first tip I got for you is kind of know the depth of the water. When you're fishing off the bank, it's really crucial that you know the depth of the water so you can pick the right lure. I mean, like this month's box, I'll just break it open and kind of describe, and one really stands out to me. The Smithwick suspending Rogue, it's called the top 20, so it's 20 to 22 feet deep. There is no water in this lake that is that deep. So what's gonna happen? Odds are I'm going to snag something the first time I throw it out. So this is probably not something I wanna throw from the bank. Just not gonna happen. So then we go to another one. This is a Yozuri, and this is a crankbait. It's a deep crankbait, but it's not near as deep as the Rogue, 6 to 8 feet. So what I'm gonna do is try to pick a deeper area to cast this out. I'm not gonna wanna throw it at a shallow back of the cove kind of deal. I'm just gonna wanna pick a deeper area so the dam here would be decent. I'm gonna cast it out, reel it in. I know I'm gonna end up hitting something, and that could cause an issue once I get closer to the shore, but out a little deeper. This is probably a good bait to catch a little deeper fish, especially since it's summertime. So here we go. This is one great lure for bank fishing, and it's a little bitty square bill, 2 to 4 foot bait. So this one is gonna work ideal, especially around rocks, laydowns, such like that. This is a kind of bait you can throw parallel to a bank and not worry too much, because if you do get hung up, you can go out and get it unsnagged. It's not gonna be as good out in the deeper water because it's not gonna dive deeper. It's gonna be up in the water column, and a lot of times those fish that are out there are gonna be suspended deeper than that or on the bottom. So this is an ideal bait for working the bank, especially parallel. So then you move to finesse bait. Then you got the little lunker hunt stick bait type, just like a 5-inch, 6-inch, whatever. I don't know exactly how long that is, but yeah, 5-inch stick bait. And then you got a Mimic Minnow by Northland Tackle, and this is all stuff you're gonna drag on the bottom or can be effective from the bank. So this is a fairly good box for bank fishing. But when it comes to throwing it, what are the best ways, and what do you kind of look for on the bank? I'm gonna show you real quick. So one of the biggest issues I see with bank fishermen is they throw the wrong lure in the wrong situation. They just have what they have in their tackle box, and they just throw it around the bank. Now, this is a key place. Okay, you can't walk any further down the bank. You're stuck here. You have to cast that way. And there's laydowns there. So pretty much if you don't want to go swimming, which is an option, if you want to get your lure back, you will be willing to go swimming. But I'll show you here. Those are all bait and lure magnets, okay? So I'm certainly not gonna wanna throw that deep crank at that tree. Honestly, I don't want to even throw the square bill at the tree because it's not like a stump or a log. It is small, crappy branches that are going to get hung up. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to take that stick bait, put it on a shaky head or a Texas rig or something. I'm just going to toss it over there, and I'm not scared to get that in that tree because I know I can either get it out. I mean, it may get stuck in it and I may lose it, but that's why you have a whole pack of worms. You better have brought a couple hooks for them. Usually I'll cast from the inside out and work my way out or vice versa, go from the outside in. But just remember, you know, pick the lure that's gonna work the best for that situation, and you're gonna catch fish and get less snags. Because every single time I take my boat out there, I pick up a spinnerbait or a crankbait or some fishing line or something from that tree. So it is a magnet, and they just don't wanna go in and get it. Now right there, I'm hung up. But the way it feels, it's fishing line. That was fishing line. I can tell. It's just a hang-up monster. All right, the other big thing for bank fishing is make sure you cover everything you can with the lures available. But I'm gonna start out paralleling, especially with this crankbait. I'm just gonna toss it, kind of feign cast, come in. A lot of times I see people, they just move too fast or they only target one area of the bank. And they'll only cast, say, 2 foot off the rocks, and then they'll move down and move down and move down, not catch anything. You know, make sure, if you cast there, make sure you cast a couple feet out farther, or a couple farther from that the next cast. So if you do those 2 things, it's 2 simple quick tips. You probably already know that, but make sure you're picking the right bait for the right situation, understanding how deep the water is and what's in the water. And also cover all the water. Make sure you parallel the bank, make sure you're casting in different areas and not just focusing on one little part of the lake. And also make sure you get permission where you're fishing. Make sure you don't walk on people's yards if you're not supposed to be there, and make sure you follow the regulations. So I appreciate you watching. Please subscribe to the channel. If you want a mystery tackle box and you've never gotten one before, then you can use the code PHANTOM and you will get $10 off your first box. So I appreciate you watching. Keep fishing, keep learning.